I'm thinking cue ball. Yeah, that's about C tier. We'll go ahead and bump it to B. The one ball. That's gonna be a C. Yeah, B tier. Two ball. That's a A tier. A tier ball. The five ball. Not really a fan of the five ball. I'm gonna put that one in D tier. Okay. The three ball. We went a little out order here, but three ball. That's a very solid ball. We're gonna put that one in B tier. Okay. Four ball. That one. I'd put it above the cue ball even, actually. B tier. The 10 ball, that's a C tier. Bottom of C tier. New peasant a C tier right there. How about the 12 ball? Yeah, it's very close to the A. It has an additional 1 in there, which is a little cringe, but I can deal with it. 14. I put it above, like, between cue ball and 3. Yeah. 15. Easy S tier. Easy. That's the easiest decision I've ever made. The striped 13. Ooh. Yeah, probably C tier. 6 ball. We'll put the 6 ball. Yeah, D tier. King of D tier. It's almost C tier, like bordering on C tier, but it's just not quite there, you know? And then we got the 7. Yep. And the 11. And the 9 can go... Yeah, the 9's there. And then, of course, you gotta put the 8 ball. You gotta put the 8 ball in S tier. So there you go. With that, everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the stream. This is Tier Maker, the stream where we make the most correct, factual-based opinions, because you know that's not an oxymoron. I'm the moron. You're the one with the oxygen. Let's combine our strength! And we're gonna create more tier lists. Last time on Tier Maker, I spent, I think, a 4-hour stream creating this entire Mario Kart ranking. It was going to be a stream where I did other tier lists, but I actually only did the one because it just took me that damn long. Now, today I don't have as nearly as much time, especially because I'm getting a little bit of a late start. But we are going to make some tier lists. I have for you, once again, the Xenoblade one, which we still haven't done. I still don't think I'm ready for the Xenoblade one yet. I'm gonna need more time on that one. The Nintendo Switch 1 games ranking, which this isn't the whole Switch 1 library. I don't know what games these are. Nintendo published, I guess. I feel like this is probably gonna be missing some, but well, I guess we'll see if we do that one. N64 online, that one I'm kind of like very lukewarm on. Also, that one's definitely not up to date. Number 5, this is just a Smash Brothers one. And number 6, I have every single Animal Crossing villager. All of them. That one's gonna take me a while to go through, because several of them I don't know. However, D tier. And, hang on. Where's Jay? Does anyone see Jay the bird? Oh god, there he is. Alright. Alright, that's all you need to know for now about that one. How about... Alright, since this is going to be a fact-based opinion tiers, why don't we rank... You know, I am curious to see if they have every single one of these in here. So why don't we go ahead and rank these Switch 1 games. So yeah, these are Nintendo published Switch 1 video game releases. We're gonna go ahead and create some new categories here. We're going to create add a row below. Alright, we're gonna do Haven't played. Okay, so D tier is gonna be not. Oh, hey, here. We'll put actually bad. We'll do not for me. It's all right. And we'll do another category above too. It's good. It's great. Add above, and then we'll do genuine masterpiece. Is that how you spell peace? I before E. Except that's not always the rule. Hi Spaghetti, how you doing? I'm doing alright. This is my version of an April Fool's stream because, well, I'm funny every day of the year, right? What do you mean no? Oh. Well, I like to think that I'm funny every day of the year. So... Also, you know what kind of bothers me with tier makers? Like the default tier maker lists? They put red as S tier. I feel like red is like my indicator for like it being bad. So we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna put it's great as pink. Alright? It's alright. Will be green. Not for me. Yeah, yellow's fine. Actually bad. Put in orange. Well, no, we'll put that in red. Actually bad. Oh, wait. No, wait. Hang on. This is out of order. This should be... Not for me is yellow. Actually bad. This one should be red. Because, you know, bad equals... Ooh. And then haven't played. We'll just do in gray. And then, there's a way to pin the images. Yeah, I need to remember that this is a thing that you can do. Pinning the images. So that we don't have to scroll all the way down. But anyways... my April Fool's joke early was either let that sink in or an evil scarfy that bites you. What do you mean? Don't let your sink into your house. It has to stay... The sink has to piss outside! And then you piss on the sink, okay? That's how we do things around here. Alright, I think we're set up and ready to go. Okay, so this is going to be very factual based. You are not allowed to be mad at me whatsoever if I put arms and not for me. You're just gonna have to fucking deal with that, okay? I don't care what you think! Except I kind of do. Be sure to let me know what your thoughts are, and maybe I'll even consider them. However, as I say every time I do a tier maker stream, there are many tier lists out there, but this one is mine. So, please note, it doesn't actually mean if I put Breath of the Wild in It's Alright, that the game, you now have to hate it. Like, that's not how this works, okay? So let's start with... I guess I'm just gonna go in order here. So, Breath of the Wild, I lied to you when I said it's alright. Actually, I'm gonna unpin this, because, yeah, I think I prefer it this way. In which case, I'll actually do one more row. Add row below. Currently... discussing. There we go. Alright, so Breath of the Wild. I'm not gonna probably spend nearly as much time discussing each one of these games, giving them a full glowing review. Because there's just so much to go through and I gotta keep in mind pacing here. However, what I will tell you about Breath of the Wild is, Breath of the Wild is a video game. And there is a character who runs across the screen and he swings a sword, and after he swings the sword, the enemy is capable of death. There's a guy at the end called Calamity Ganon. Honestly, the ending of this game... Alright, hang on. Let me break it down like this. The Divine Beasts, I don't like. I much prefer the Dungeons and Tears of the Kingdom, if I'm being wholesale. However, Hyrule Castle, the final, like, stretch of the game in any playthrough that you do of Breath of the Wild, not Tears of the Kingdom, Hyrule Castle, Breath of the Wild, might be the best 3D Zelda dungeon, or one of them. I don't remember where I ranked it when I did that 3D Zelda dungeon, but that's how I'm feeling right now. And that's the other thing about these tier list streams, is I could rank these right now, and then my opinions could be completely different in a month from now. But that said, I'm gonna put Breath of the Wild in It's Good. I like this game. It's not the 10 out of 10 masterpiece that everyone else says it is. Also, this got way out of order. Hang on. This needs to be purple. This is blue. There we go. Yeah, I'll put it in It's Good. It should say something that when this game came out, I did 2 back-to-back full playthroughs of it. I'm not the biggest open world guy, which is ironic because, you know, Breath of the Wild and, you know, Xenoblade, especially Xenoblade, you know, those are big-ass games. But what I really like about Breath of the Wild is its freedom. But as you'll see when we get to Tears of the Kingdom, that is kind of also its detriment. Am I allowed to eat the tier list once it's finished? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, cool. 1-2 switch. Here's the thing. I don't like calling games bad. Most of the time, I'm gonna put games that I really don't like and not for me. 1-2 Switch, I had fun with when I did the Chicago Switch Tour. For those who don't know, before the Switch came out, some of you may be familiar with the YouTube channel that I used to run called Gaming Outlet. We did early access press stuff for the Switch 1 when that was, you know, 2016, 2017. And we got invited to a event in Chicago, Illinois, and we played 1-2 Switch like a month or two early, and we had fun with it. But I think the reason why we had fun with it was because we were experiencing a brand new console to us at the time, you know, hot off the heels of the Wii U, and it just, you know, we were having a good time. In realism, I don't think this is a good game. I mean, it's a nice little party trick, like one time. But the fact that this game costs money, like $60 money, nah, don't go for it. Snipper clips. I have played, but I'm gonna put it in haven't played because I haven't played more than like an hour of it. Okay. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Wait, what is this? This is Nintendo Slop? No, this is just Switch published, or Nintendo's published games tier list. It's got, I don't even think this is everything, but I'm just gonna keep going through it until I find something that's missing. Mario Kart 8, as we're listening to the Mario Kart 8 music, is probably between Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart World, the better Mario Kart game. World is slowly over time getting updates. You know, we've ranked, you know, all the courses. You could say what you want. I guess over time Mario Kart 8 became even better with the booster course pass. I'm gonna keep it here, and it's great. I don't really think there's much more for me to say about Mario Kart 8 that I haven't talked about in the past. Okay? Flip Wars, never heard of that. ARMS. It's alright. I still wouldn't say it's necessarily for me, but, you know, I had my fun with ARMS for like 20 hours when it first came out. I think it's another instance of, you know, the Switch 1 needed games. ARMS was a game, in fact. I mean, we had Flip Wars, so I could have played that, but I didn't. Instead, I played ARMS. And my issue with ARMS is it's very slow. and I'm just not the biggest fighting game guy anyway, so it didn't do a whole lot for me, but, you know, I liked the concept of ARMS, and I like the characters a lot, and the music's great too. Splatoon 2. I'm gonna put that above Mario Kart, and it's great. I love Splatoon 2. I have probably 200-300 hours in Splatoon 2. Splatoon 3, I don't have nearly as much hours in. But what I will tell you is Splatoon 2 has a very, very solid single player, and the DLC expansion, the Octo expansion, great content. Love this game. I would say, when it comes to playing Splatoon 2 versus Splatoon 3, you're gonna play Splatoon 3. You should play 3, you shouldn't play 2. That's my personal opinion. I don't care about competitive. I don't know what the competitive scene says. I'm talking purely as like am I recommending this game to you? Splatoon 2, I would recommend less than Splatoon 3, just because 3's newer, 3's got more shit, and more maps, so yeah, 3 is going to be the better game, but 2 is the one I have the more hours in, just because when 3 came out, I wasn't really ready to put in that same amount of time into it. Mario and Rabbids, I haven't played more than 1 hour, so we're going to put that in haven't played. Pokken Tournament DX, also haven't really played more than 1 hour. I have played the Wii U version, but not that one, so not going to rank it. Fire Emblem Warriors. Kind of stinky. The first one, it's a little bit of a stinky game. I actually I'm actually bordering on actually bad, but I'm gonna put it in not for me. Fire Emblem Warriors is the first, of course. You would think, with how much I love Hyrule Warriors, I wouldn't call it generic, but like the one that's just like crossover between the series. I would actually say that Hyrule Warriors, this game right here, is better than Age of Calamity and not Tears of the Kingdom. What's the other one? Age of Imprisonment. Yeah, this one's probably better than both of those. The same cannot be said for Fire Emblem Warriors versus Three Hopes. The original Fire Emblem Warriors is very, very lacking. Two good things that it did. One, it actually had a toggle between 60 FPS and like a quality mode versus performance mode, which was insane. Seeing a Warriors game on Switch 1 hardware run at a very solid 60 FPS was wacky tobacco. And then the other cool thing that it did was it did the pairing thing where you can have the two units pair up together. Not even Hyrule Warriors does that. I like that quite a lot, actually. But the issue I have with it is it only pulls from Marth's first game, from Fire Emblem Awakening, and Fire Emblem Fates. And then there's like Lyn, I think, is obtainable through like a side mode, but there's no like overarching story with her. I believe Celica is also in there, and some others that I'm not remembering off the top of my head, but very, very minor. Like, Fire Emblem Warriors was the first time that I really felt like Fire Emblem was celebrating itself, and it didn't really do a good job at it because it really only pulled from its most successful and recognizable games, which is a shame because, yeah, I would have loved to see, like, I mean, in retrospect, because at the time I hadn't played it, but any characters from Ike's game would have been great. Obviously, Ike himself, but, like, I don't know, we could have Micaiah from Radiant Dawn, or any of the, like, royalty from that game would have been fucking sick. But instead, they just went for something very safe. You know, it was good for its time. There's also a 3DS version of this game, which is weird. It dual released on Switch and 3DS. Yeah, just not for me. Mario Odyssey, I'm gonna go ahead and put in, it's great. Alright, I don't think it's a genuine masterpiece, but here's my thing. I replayed this game on stream last year, So if you want my in-depth review, you know, watch that stream. I wouldn't say that this is my favorite 3D Mario. I'd say I would rank Sunshine at number 1, which is definitely a nostalgia bias. And then I'd maybe put Galaxy 2, then Odyssey, then 64, then Galaxy 1, maybe. That's just off the top of my head, I don't know. But I say that, and all those games are still very closely ranked together. My issues with Odyssey are, you know, the moons just a little too easy to collect, just too many of them. It's the only 3D Mario game ever that I have never been inclined to 100%. I've 100%ed Sunshine a number of times, yes, including the blue coins. I even did Mario Eclipse, which was an expansion to Mario Sunshine. It's a ROM hack emulator thing, but don't worry about that. Basically doubles Sunshine's length, including adding more blue coins. Still 100% of that. Super Mario Odyssey, I could not give a damn about 100%ing that game. It's just like some of those moons are just so brainless to collect, and they don't feel fun to grab for me. The movement of the game, like playing the game, fun as hell. Getting through the game, great experience. 100%ing the game, I think this may be the only game in the Mario series, unless the next one is like Odyssey, I guess, where I don't 100% it. Which is weird, because I did 100% Bonanza, but yeah, I couldn't be damned to do it for that one. Uh-oh. 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 Xenoblade. Where does the streamer, the Xenoblade Ricky in the fucking Tomodachi Life Island, where does he rank? Xenoblade Chronicles 2. The one where they have waifus and husbandos. Let's not be mistaken. I mean, have you seen Zeke? Where's he gonna put it? I'm gonna put it in its great. I don't think it's a masterpiece. It's definitely a very, very flawed game. But I like Xenoblade 2 a lot. It is probably... Actually, it is the single Xenoblade game that got me to where I am with Xenoblade. As in, this is the game that created it as like a omega hyperfixation. I've told this story before, but with Xenoblade 1, I had gotten it after Shulk was announced for Smash. I got a physical copy on the Wii for fucking $90. I don't ask. It was a hard sell, but I did it. Okay? And I never finished the game because I just couldn't get into the combat. For whatever reason, just Xenoblade 1's combat, I couldn't hook me on the first try. And it couldn't hook me on the second try either, because I tried again and still didn't finish it. Xenoblade 1, it wasn't until the definitive edition when I actually finished it. 2, on the other hand... Well, okay, hang on, let's take another step back. Xenoblade X comes out. I did finish X on release. I liked it. I wasn't, like, obsessed with it, but it was a fun game. You know, watch my X streams if you want my in-depth opinion on that, but... wasn't my favorite thing. It wasn't a hyperfixation yet. 2 is when it really began. And it wasn't because of the anime, because quite literally at that time, I had not watched anime. I couldn't give a shit about the anime. And no one will believe me when I say this out loud, but I swear to God, anything that's like sex appeal in that game, which there really isn't that much of it. People overblow it. But anything that's like sex appeal, like the fucking like, I mean, I see it in retrospect, but like the shots where it like zooms in on Pyra's tits. Yeah, like that genuinely went over my head. I did not even like fucking like, I didn't see that and go, like the male gaze just wasn't there for me at that time in my life. I just didn't care. I was like, that's a video game character. They're doing things. I'm more paying attention to the story than anything, right? And 2 got its hooks on me real quick with its story. That opening chapter in particular, you either love it or you hate it. I think for me, it got me by the balls, and I loved it. I played it all the way through. I've never 100%ed Xenoblade 2, but I have played it all the way through 4 times. Yeah, I think, including the Torna the Golden Country expansion, which I'm seeing now is ranked here separately, so I guess I'll talk about it separately. On its own, Xenoblade 2's combat is way, way, way better. Way more... I wouldn't say, understandable. It is more complicated than Xenoblade 1, but it's more involved. Especially when you factor in things like stutter stepping. But for me, the biggest difference is your auto attacks filling up your arts, rather than just the slow build-up over time of putting auto attacks from the first game, where it's just like you just sit there and you wait, and now you can use Monado Buster, you know? Whereas with Xenoblade 2, especially after you factor in stutter stepping, which may or may not have been intentional, but it's in the game regardless, you just move the analog stick a little bit, you hit the enemy, you move the analog stick, you hit the enemy, you move the analog stick, hit the enemy, and then bam, you already have an art ready in like a second and a half. Like, it's that quick. And yeah, I like 2 a lot. Its story, actually, I'm not ashamed to admit, made me cry on first watch. And its soundtrack is just absolutely beautiful as well. One of the absolute best. I would put it in genuine masterpiece because I'm glowing it up so hard. But in retrospect, I do think the character designs, you know, even though I'm being 100% deadpan serious with you when I say I never really found the character designs offensive on first playthrough, on retrospect, I can see where a lot of people are coming from, especially when it comes to characters like Dahlia. But yeah, Pyra and Mithra, I mean, I like their Smash designs quite a lot. It's more the characters that matter to me rather than what they're wearing, and some people find their outfits to be, like, empowering, and I'm like, hell yeah. You know, that kind of conversation isn't exactly, you know, not my place. You know, I'm a straight white man, well, straight passing white man, let's put it that way. You know, when it comes to talking about, like, female representation in games and how that actually is displayed, I feel like that's a little out of my scope, but I do see the arguments, and I want to make it known that I don't really love when, you know, characters are being objectified, but it is sort of, and I'm trying to not make this copium here, it is sort of like a relevant plot point that is happening in that game. Like, it's fucked up, and the game kind of knows that it is, because one of the central plot points of the game is the blades being treated as items and not as people. So, yeah. That's my opinion on Xenoblade 2. It has a very deep story if you want it to have a deep story. Or it can have a really stupid main character that you can't find to be realistic, because he's just happy-go-lucky and he's a shonen protag, but I like it. And I like Rex more in Xenoblade 3's DLC, but, you know, he's got his nice stupid pants, so what can I say about that? DQ Builders 1... I've played very, very little of this one. Once again, it's about an hour or 2. I can't really rank it faithfully. Bayonetta 1. I'm gonna put this one in not for me, but I'm gonna put it above Fire Emblem Warriors. I don't... Actually, I think the real ranking of this game is it's good. But for me, personally, I'm gonna put it here. I didn't care that much for Bayonetta 1 all that much, if I'm being totally, totally honest. It's okay. Bayonetta 2, fantastic game, which I'll just go ahead and rank that now. we'll talk about them both together. Let's put this one... Oh, is it a masterpiece? I'm gonna put it at top of great. I don't know if masterpiece, but could be. Let me talk this through a little bit first. Actually, I'm gonna bump this one to it's alright. Okay, so the combat of Bayonetta, really fucking fun, especially in 2. The whole, once again, sex appeal thing about Bayonetta, really isn't, once again, just like with Xenoblade, it's not as much as some people might make it out to sound. Yes, it is true that when Bayonetta uses her moves, she shows cheek. But, like, it's not, like, explicit. Like, you don't, like, go, like, up into her fucking vulva, you know? Like, it's fine, I guess. But the main thing about Bayonetta and, like, the whole, like, sex appeal thing is, like, for Bayonetta, it's more like a she wears it type of, like, girl boss situation, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you fucking go, girl. You be fucking who you are. And she's proud of it, so that's kind of awesome for her. But as for the game itself, the story, fucking off the walls, batshit insane. Alright, Bayonetta 1 technically is like an Xbox game, but I guess we're just counting the remake here. I'll say I didn't really get as hooked into it as I did Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 1, for whatever reason, when I was streaming it, it was one of those things where I would schedule the next stream to get through the game. Not because I was necessarily wanting to play the next stream of it. It was just like, okay, well, we need to get through Bayonetta, so let me schedule another one of those. Bayonetta 2 was very different. Bayonetta 2 was like, when can I play this again? I want to play more. And I don't even fully know why off the top of my head. Both of these games I've only played the one time on stream. And just something about 2 in particular really, really made me hooked into the combat. I don't know if maybe I just got better at the combat. Maybe the moves are more fluid. I don't know. I mean, there's also the whole Christmas story, and the story in general was, I think, more interesting in 2. 1 did have the feeling like a fucking celebrity line, though. 2 had multiplayer, and Rodan was playable. I did not play multiplayer for Bayonetta 2. Didn't even know it had multiplayer. Or if I did, I forgot. I go gore. But yeah, I'll put it in... I'll put it in Masterpiece. It'll probably be the bottommost of Masterpiece, if I had to guess. But yeah, let's do it like that. Kirby Star Allies. I'll put this one in. It's good. Because it is good. I like Kirby Star Allies. I streamed this last year. As a matter of fact, streamed half of it at the beginning of the year, and the other half of it at the back of the year. Star Allies, what I will say, does suffer from two things that are my main issues with Star Allies. The levels aren't that inspired, if I'm being real with you. The levels are cool, the worlds are cool, but like the levels themselves just feel like more Kirby. I'm borderline calling this game New Super Mario Bros. Kirby, except it is more than that. It's like New Super Mario Bros. 1 Kirby, right? Because New Super Mario Bros. 1 is actually a good game and actually has a lot of unique ideas in it. Kirby Star Allies is just a little safe for my liking, which we'll talk about the other Kirby game eventually. They've really got their shit together in the later half of Kirby on Switch 1. But in general, Star Allies is good. I think the game is just a little slow to my liking as well. Like, Kirby moves slow, the allies move slow. I do wish there was a way for player 1 to play as someone that isn't Kirby without having to go to that side mode. I get it, Kirby's the main character, but also I would have liked just an option to play as, like, Adeline and Ribbon just throughout the main story. Would have been nice. If this game ever gets game share on Switch 2, that would be awesome. Just being able to actually play with my viewers would be nice. Because, yeah, that's the other thing is, like, finding people to sit in like, my living room to play this game. I've never sat down and played more than a few hours of Kirby Star Allies with someone. And Megan likes Kirby, so she's the person that I would play this with, but even still, you know, I'm having a full group of 4 sounds difficult to get around to. So let's hope one day on Switch 2, we get that. Alright. Hyrule Warriors, the first game, Definitive Edition. So it's been a very, very long time since I played the original Hyrule Warriors. I think if I can find the time for it in the very, very latter half of this year, I would like to check this game out again. It depends on if I have the available time for it. But I want to see how I feel about the original Hyrule Warriors again, because it's been a very long time. I look at this game's roster, and I'm like, holy shit. They pulled, like, unlike with Fire Emblem Warriors, they pulled from across the entire series with this game. In the weapons, in the characters, in little references here and there. You got Ravio, which... In 2026, Ravio and Yuga being in Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition are like, who? Picks. Because I haven't played A Link Between Worlds in, like, eons. But that said, it's kind of cool in retrospect. They were definitely added because when the 3DS version came out, those were very relevant characters at that time. Even sharing the same platform, you know? Missed opportunity that Groose isn't in this game. I'll say that. But I like what they did with Link's design in this game. The music is awesome. If I'll say it's less Zelda remixes than I would have liked, but there's still a few good ones in there. And the original music is great too, so why do I care? In fact, there's one song that I'd like to pull up right now. Hyrule Warriors. What's the temple theme? Silent Guardians. It's giving me an ad. Okay, hang on. We're going to open this in a Chrome tab because I'm not signed into YouTube there. H. Great. Thanks for that. What? What the fuck? Okay. Hang on. Let's just do this. Silent Guardians Hyrule Warriors. There. This song. I love this song. This is probably my favorite song in this game's soundtrack. I don't know why in particular. It's just I love this song so much. So yeah, Hyrule Warriors has a great fucking soundtrack. The roster of characters that they choose, pretty good. And you know, for like an AAU, like just pulling Zelda games, Zelda characters from different timelines and stuff. I mean, these days they don't give a shit about the timeline anyways, so I guess it's as canon as anything else, right? But I'd say this is a very, very solid game, and if you haven't played it, this game gets my utmost recommendation if you're a Zelda fan. And the other thing is, like, no two characters play alike. One thing I forgot to mention about Fire Emblem Warriors is there are clone characters. There are several characters who play one-to-one identically to each other, and it's based on their weapon class. Hyrule Warriors doesn't have a single instance of that, at least for this game. I think there's a couple that are a little bit like that in Age of Imprisonment. It's still unique for every character's instance there, but there are some that are very similar to one another. This game, however, every single character is wholly unique. I like personally playing as Skull Kid a lot. Ganondorf with the trident. Link, of course, is very fun no matter what weapon you use him as. And I also remember using a lot of True Form Midna a lot. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition and Pirate Warriors 4 are the games, according to chat. I haven't played Pirate Warriors, but... I'll take your word for it. But anyways, yeah, that's that song. Fucking love that song. Anyways, back to Mario 3D Land music, I guess. I fucking love that game's soundtrack so much. Yeah, Q-Mite. Yeah, I remember that song too. That's another great one. There's a lot of really good ones. I highly recommend VGM OST guys listen through that game soundtrack. It's worth your time. Labo. Behind me, I have the Nintendo Labo cardboard. The VR. I have not opened it. All the other Labo stuff. Actually, wait. I did build one. I built this one with my brother. It's all right. There you go. It was fun while it lasted to build. It's kind of like a Lego set almost. I have no idea what happened to that Labo set. It's probably in the garbage. Here's the VR one. I'll just put that in there too. I have it. I just haven't built it. This is the Switch version of DK. Technically speaking, I should put this game right here. Because I've only played 1 hour of it. And my rule is, you know, I need like... at least like 4 to 5 hours, I'd say, for me to say that I've played it. However, this is just the Wii U game, but on Switch, mostly, with a funky new mode as well. So I think I can confidently rank this game as a masterpiece. Dare I be so bold? This is probably, between this and Returns, I would say Tropical Freeze, according to my memory, is the better game. But also, when I played Returns just a few months ago, or last month, really, I really enjoyed Returns on Switch. So, I'm wondering if that opinion is true. Also, my VTuber is glitching the fuck out. Hang on. I'm wondering if that's true, then just how good is this game? I don't know. We're gonna have to replay this game sometime for me to really fully know. But what I will tell you is, this is a genuine masterpiece video game. Please play this if you haven't played it. If you haven't played a single DK game in your life, and you're like, I can only play one, well, I would probably tell you Bonanza. But if you're talking 2D DK, then I would say Tropical Freeze. This is probably the best game in the franchise for me. I know people love DKC2 and DKC1. I'm not as big of a fan of those games as some people are. I think they're just a little too hard for my personal taste. Call me skill issue bitch boy all you want. But that's just how I feel about it, you know? This game is still very difficult, don't get me wrong. But I really enjoyed the playthrough that I had on Wii U many years ago. And, you know, I beat this on first playthrough, so it's more than I can say about any other DK game that I had played as a kid. Isn't this a mobile game? Pokemon Quest? This looks like fucking Crossy Roads. Sushi Strikers, never played. Mario Tennis Aces. I've played enough of Mario Tennis Aces to know that that game's not really for me. I still haven't played that much of it. It's right on the border of haven't played for me, but I would say I've played enough of it to say, yeah, I'm not really in love with Aces that much. I don't know why. I didn't get into it. I know the multiplayer online is really good, and people, like, take this game super fucking seriously when they play it. I I never got there with this game. So, and I think it's because when it released in a very sorry state. Over time, it became better. But, what I will tell you is I still think that the new one, Mario Tennis Fever, is, like, if I had to rank that game, which it's not on here, but I would put Mario Tennis Fever, like, here. Like, top of it's good. So, by metric, you know, there's that, but it's not going to be here. Octopath, haven't played more than just the demo. Surprisingly, I have not played Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I've played all the Captain Toad stages in, on the Wii U. The Mario 3D World. I have not... I had the Wii U... My mom had the Wii U version of this game, and I played, like, the first world of it. But I wouldn't say that I remember enough about the game to say that I've played it. So... and I don't even have the Switch version of this game, so... I've considered playing it, because this game is one of the games that has online game share, and, if I'm not mistaken, the game share actually does, what's the word, where the split screen doesn't share the screen? Like, everyone gets their own unique screen, but it's still game share. So, this became very valuable on Switch 2. At some point, I'm probably gonna pick that up. Go Vacation, never heard of that. Xenoblade 2, Torn of the Golden Country. Okay. Xenoblade 2, Torn of the Golden Country is a vast improvement on Xenoblade 2. This is just... For those who don't know, for whatever reason, Torn of the Golden Country got a physical standalone release. It is the DLC for Xenoblade 2, which you can play without having Xenoblade 2. Why you would do that, I don't know, but you can. It takes place 500 years before the events of Xenoblade 2. I mean, you could probably play Xenoblade 2 in the order of Torna, then the main game, but it's really meant to be experienced main game, then Torna. That said, what Torna does is it improves a lot of elements about Xenoblade 2. The tutorials are actually good, for once. The combat is... It's a lot more refined. They completely get rid of the gacha blade system and instead replace it with just characters have a set 2 blades. You know, you got Jin, Laura, and then Minoth. You're gonna have Adam, Mithra. Or no, Minoth is with Adam. Who's with... you got Hayes. Yeah, that's who's with Laura. And then you got Hugo, Bridget, and Aegeon on the other team. So, yeah, it's a lot more refined. You don't have to worry about swapping in and out blades. There's just, like, these characters have their set blades that they work with, and you can even play as the blades, and there's a really cool mechanic that I really, really love in Torna, where when you switch from controlling the driver and the blade, they do, like a call-out attack. Like, it's not really that much damage, but it can have some bonus effects. Like, it's capable of toppling and launching and stuff like that. So... Torna, good game. My only major complaint with it... I 100%ed it, so it didn't affect me. But... if you aren't a fan of 100%ing RPGs, this game, Torn of the Golden Country, will piss you the fuck off. Because... it demands that you do its side content in order for you to finish the story. You don't have to do all of it, but you do have to do, like, most of the side content before it will let you do the final boss. Like, occasionally the game will just arbitrarily gate you and say, you should get some more renown with the local denizens before you continue on with your quest. And it just, you can't progress the story until you do some more side quests. Again, for me, that was a non-issue because I was interested in 100%ing it on the first playthrough. And I've never replayed this. I don't know if I would 100% it if I played it again. So I would be very curious how it would hold up on a second playthrough. Super Mario Party. I've gone all over the place with this game. When it first came out, I probably would have put it here. Then after not too long, it fell down to here. Then after a little bit longer, it fell down to here. And after a little bit longer, it fell down to here. And now that I have the retrospect of Jamboree and Superstars behind me, I'm gonna put this game right there. It's alright. Super Mario Party does have a tier list, which is kind of a little for me when it comes to Mario Party. There are characters that are just genuinely better than others. They have different dice, which is a fun idea. I'm not gonna, get on their ass too much. My main issues with Super Mario Party, not Jamboree, but just Super Mario Party on its own, is that I'm not really a fan of any of the boards. The minigames are great. The minigames are beautiful, actually. I love the minigames in Super Mario Party. But none of the boards are fun, and the stars are too cheap. 10 coins for a star, really? You start with the money needed for a star? I don't like that. I don't like it. Stars should be... I do like in Jamboree, and I think in Superstars as well, if I'm not mistaken, there's an item that can make stars 10 coins. That's fine. Occasionally a 10 coin star because you got a lucky roll or something. That's fine. But like all stars being 10 coins, that's just one minigame win, It's way too easy to get stars in that game, and I like it, even though it sucks in the moment. I like it when you can get to a star and be like, fuck, I don't have enough coins for this. That doesn't really happen in Super Mario Party, like, ever. It can, of course. You can theoretically not have 10 coins, but also all the items are super cheap in that game. And again, minigames reward you with 10 coins. And I think that was when they started doing, like, if you get second place, you still get a little bit of coins. Like, almost every minigame is treated like a battle minigame, in a sense. So, yeah, it's alright. There's good things in this game. I would say if you haven't played this game, I'd just say get Superstars or Jamboree. My personal vote would be Jamboree. Even though Jamboree games do take a really fucking long time. That's one thing I don't like about that game. The only reason I don't say Superstars is just because I've played so much Superstars over the year. I'm kind of sick of that game. But it is a very solid recreation of a few boards from Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. So, even though they picked the worst board from Mario Party 3, but I will not talk about that right now. World Ends With You Neo. Or, is that Neo? No, I think that's the remake one. I didn't play that one. I played the remake one on demo. Haven't played any of Pikachu or Eevee, so we're just gonna rank those there. Do I need to explain why Smash Bros. Ultimate is a genuine masterpiece? I don't really think I do. Like, you just kind of know, right? Listen, I'm not a fighting game guy. I don't think it's... I don't care at all, let me clarify. I don't care at all. Not even 10%, not even 3%, not even 0.001% do I care about the competitive scene. So I am purely talking about me versus my friends, me versus viewers here. I have a great time whenever I play this game. I don't see how they're going to be able to top this one. This game, Smash Ultimate, is the Mario Kart 8 of Smash Brothers. And what I will say is, characters are awesome. There are still some omissions that would be cool to see. Whatever comes next for Smash Brothers will likely be a Mario Kart World game. And by that I mean, it's going to be a vastly different kind of experience for Smash Brothers, because you can't just top Smash Brothers Ultimate by doing more. Because you literally cannot do more. like the legally and like rights and like the amount of money necessary to make a game that's bigger than Smash Ultimate would also mean like the side modes would have to get axed. And I just don't see them doing that while making an actually good game. So I could see Smash Brothers, whatever's next, having a bit of a rocky start. Maybe having a tough sell at first because it's gonna cull like 80% of the roster. But then there's going to be some different kind of pull to it. But yeah, there was the Officer Earl situation, which was insane, by the way. Moist Critical made a video on it. He didn't. He should have. Where the game crashed while I was playing inside of Officer Earl's skull. The custom stages were added in an update down the road. That was good. DLC for this game, you know, I got my characters. I got Steve from Minecraft. I got Pyra and Mithra, you know me. What I will say is you know, a lot of people were mad about the inclusion of Byleth or like Dragon Quest Hero because it's not who I wanted. Cringe. But I think this game's roster is like as good as it's ever going to be. I know like Fortnite's got a bunch of like crossover stuffs, and technically at this point Fortnite is the more impressive crossover game because it also pulls from like TV and movies. But the difference is like if Fortnite, it's just skins, right? Smash Brothers Ultimate, when they say I'm putting fucking Sora from Kingdom Hearts in this game, they don't just mean, oh, you're gonna play like Mario, but that looks like Sora. No, they mean they're putting Sora from Kingdom Hearts in the game. He's gonna play like Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Which is very, very, very impressive. I don't think you need me to tell you that, but these days I am a little sick of Smash Ultimate, but that's just because it's so good that I clocked that many hours into it. That's not a testament to the game's quality in the sense of like, well, now I'm sick of it, so it must be bad. No, this game will always be seen to me as like, quite honestly, I do not think the next Smash Brothers game will be better than it. I think it will be good. I think I'll have a very similar opinion to it that I do with Mario Kart World, where it's like, I like it, but I'm not expecting to like it more than Ultimate. We'll see, right? But I'm not getting my hopes up. All right, I'm just not. Yeah. So there you go. Fitness boxing. The fuck is that? I don't know. Wasn't there a Hatsune Miku version of this? I don't know. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Okay, technically, this is the exact same situation as DK Tropical Freeze, where I should say, you know, I didn't play the Switch version, but I played the Wii U version all the way through. But I actually just did not buy or play the Switch version of this game. So, I'm gonna rank this based on what I know of the Wii U game. I do know there is additional content to this game with the Peachette crown or whatever, the Royal Toadette crown. I don't know what this game changes otherwise. I think there are some other changes. Obviously, there's no gamepad support, so you can't do those funny platforms. It's all right. Okay. What can I say other than New Super Mario Brothers is very tired. I do like the DS game quite a lot. I would say U is probably the next best New Super Mario Brothers game, if you ask me. I really like the overworld of New Super Mario Bros. U and how, like, the worlds connect with, like, the secret side routes. Like, that one secret in level 1-2 that takes you across the ocean. That's very memorable to me. And, just generally, I like this game's themes and its world design. It feels like a New Super Mario Bros. Game, yet it is less generic than, like, the hills and, like... I mean, you still go through, like, the general, like, grass, desert, ocean, canyon, sky, forest, you know. I do also like how this game's final world is Peach's castle, but with like a Bowser flair to it. If you play 4-player mode in this version, one has to be baby mode. What does that mean? Who's... Oh, right, because Toadette was, like, invincible in this game for some reason, and they got rid of... Like, you can play as the Toads, like, you can pick Blue Toad or Yellow Toad, but you can't have both of them, right? For some reason? Correct me if I'm mistaken. Toadette has the crown and adds 100 seconds. Nabbit is invincible. Oh, right. Nabbit was in it. That's right. Okay. Well, Nabbit was Luigi U, though. This comes with Luigi U, doesn't it? New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe? Alright, if true, I'm gonna bump it to the top of alright. Because Luigi U was actually a pretty good additional DLC to that. I liked Luigi U quite a bit. It's still New Super Mario Bros. At the end of the day, so it's not getting above alright, but I'll give it some credit. Tetris 99. I didn't get into this game nearly as much as some people did, but Tetris 99 did spawn F-Zero 99, so automatically it's a fucking masterpiece! No, I'm gonna put Tetris 99 in, it's good. Not the biggest Tetris guy, what more can I say other than Battle Royale Tetris? I do like the limited time, I wish they weren't FOMO necessarily, but I do like the themes that they put out for Tetris 99. Every time there's a big new game, Tetris 99 gets an update with like a DK Bonanza skin or whatever, and then you get music and visuals from DK Bonanza while you're playing Tetris. It's just fun. This game is still ongoing, by the way. The other 99 games, Pac-Man and the Mario 35, those are gone. That one, still ongoing. Alright, we're running... I'm still good on time, but I gotta go rapido here with some of these. Crafted World. Oh. Uh-oh. Apparently. Okay, we need to put this back here. I don't know where it was, but that's fine. Crafted World is... Once again, it's... Alright, I'm gonna put it right there, below Bayonetta. It is an alright video game. It is not... Actually... It's not for me. I don't think Crafted World was too special. Again, it's not bad. It's just... coming off the heels of Woolly World, Crafted World left a lot to be desired. I would be curious if I felt the same way on a second playthrough, but I just remember feeling very bored of the game and ready for it to end a couple of streams before it actually ended. And that was back in the time where if I started a game and I was bored of it, I would still just stream it anyways. So, Box Boy and Box Girl have not played the full version, but I have played demos for that. Cadence of Hyrule. It's great. It's great. I love Cadence of Hyrule. Rhythm-based Zelda game, randomly gens the world. I'm not good at Crypta the Necrodancer, the actual game, Crypta the Necrodancer. Cadence of Hyrule is a little easier, though, because you can get heart containers, and that makes a huge difference. I tried to get into Crypta the Necrodancer, I really did, but it just didn't land the same way as Cadence did. But that said, there was DLC for this game that is very, very solid. The Deku Scrub stuff. Love this game's additional content. And just generally, if you haven't played Cadence of Hyrule, you're missing out. Play it if you love rhythm games. Especially play it if you love rhythm games and are a Zelda fan. But if you're not a Zelda fan, I still think there's a lot to like about this game. So yeah, play it. Mario Maker 2. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's more Mario Maker. I don't even remember what was new in Mario Maker 2. I didn't stick with this nearly as much as I did the original Mario Maker. I remember there were original levels that were fun, and I made some new things. I mean, there was the 3D world theme. I remember that. There was also a Mario 2 ability, I think, where, like, you can make the game play like Mario 2. That was cool, I guess. But other than that, I mean, it's Mario Maker. It's more Mario Maker. So, the first Mario Maker was already very solid. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. Obviously, making Mario Maker levels on a console screen is a little rough, but you can still do the drawing on the touchscreen, so it sucks for streaming, but all the functionality of the original Mario Maker is still intact. So I would not say that this is a downgrade to the original Mario Maker. In fact, I'm putting it in it's great. I didn't stick with this very long just because I kind of already had my fill with Mario Maker with the first game. DQ Builders 2, once again, have not played enough of that to say that I have. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 have not played enough, or ever, for that matter. Fire Emblem Warriors, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Bottom of Masterpiece. I've only done one route of this game. I think that's probably going to be my fate, unless I ever restream it. Because I tried doing a Blue Lions route, and for whatever reason, in New Game Plus, I can't arse myself to give a shit about the other schools. Like, I had my allegiance to Claude and the Golden Deer, and then I tried doing the Blue Lions route, and I couldn't get attached to the characters, which isn't to say that those characters were bad. It's just like, I don't know, I felt attached to the timeline and the story that I ended up going with. And playing through it all again, but in a different story context, is a very, very, very cool idea. But two things. One, at that time in my life, wasn't willing to sink another 100 hours to do a whole second playthrough. And two, playing through New Game Plus means I get all the units that I had before, more or less, with very minimal effort. And that just made the game too easy for me. So then I just really didn't care about what was happening, and then I kind of fell off from there. But loved my Golden Deer playthrough. Maybe one day you'll see me stream one of the other routes. I feel like when I streamed Three Hopes, I should have done Golden Deer. I have, like, remorse about choosing the Blue Lion route in that one, because I wonder, like, how did the Golden Deer route change in that game? But we'll talk about that when we get to that, I guess. Other than that, fantastic soundtrack. I was very, very confused why they put dubstep in a Fire Emblem game, but it works very well. So, fuck it, Weeball. This is probably my favorite Fire Emblem soundtrack right here. And, again, a lot of the voice acting is really great. I love the casting, I love the direction. They got Yuritsa in that game. They got, Claude, of course, is a great one. They have Professor! So, yeah. I can't give a damn about Black Eagles, says Froze. I couldn't either. I only play Forehead on her head. Astral Chain. I own this game. And I've really, really wanted to play it. And I put it on a poll a few times, but no one ever wants to vote for it. So I don't know if the reception of this game is bad, but I've been interested in the game. It looks very stylistically fun. It looks like Bayonetta, a little bit like Bayonetta cross, like, Persona almost. Like, just glancing at it. I don't actually know how it plays. Maybe one day. Again, I own this game. I bought it. I just never really played it. So maybe it'll be one of those things that I just play on my own time one day. I don't know. What is this? What is that? Kirby Clash? Never heard of it. Daemon Ex Machina. Nope. Oh, Super Kirby Clash. Okay. Link's Awakening remake. Yeah, I mean, it's Link's Awakening. Play the Switch 2 version of this. It runs better. It has, I think it runs in 4K on Switch 2. And they buffered out all the frame rate issues with it. So now it's just, yeah, there's no real issues to be had with this version. other than maybe if you don't like the art style and you prefer the way it looked on the original. But for me, it wasn't a huge deal, but with the original GB version of Link's Awakening, I didn't like that I had to remove the sword in order to equip certain items to those buttons. So just having more buttons like is an instant fix for this game. So for that reason alone, I rank this and it's great. Yeah. What was that, DQ11? Played a demo, not the full game. Ring Fit Adventure. It is indeed a workout game. I've played probably about 5 or 6 hours of it. I mean, the Toy-Con is surprised. Like, I remember when this thing came out, like, I would bring it to people, and I'd be like, I dare you to try to break this thing. And they're like, really? Don't tell me to do that. I'm gonna do it. I'm like, go ahead, do it. No one can fucking do it. I'm sure it can be broken, but I've never seen anyone snap this thing in half. This thing is weirdly durable. It is in fact a workout game, so don't go into this expecting a video game, but if you want something that lets you work out and you have a little bit of more stim happening while that's happening, then yeah, Ring Fit Adventure is exactly that. There was also a really buff dragon guy that I think a lot of people wanted to fuck. I don't remember much about him, though. But I do remember these were genuine workouts. So, I don't know if it's like gym replacement tier, but it's good enough that, especially during the pandemic, this game was like not available. Like everyone was buying it. Luigi's Mansion 3... When this game came out, I would have put it in Masterpiece. But then I replayed it, and for some reason, on second playthrough, I didn't love it as much as I originally did. I think the animation of this game is phenomenal. I think the theming of this game is great. I just think the game runs a little long, and you know, the sections where you're chasing down the cat, it's less annoying than the dog from 2, but it feels more like padding, especially in 3, because it kind of comes out of nowhere whenever that happens. But this was the game where Mario did all the funny, crying upon seeing Peach's stretch neck, so I'll put it in it's great. Bottom of it's great for me. I used to really tell people that this was the best Luigi's Mansion game. I no longer feel that way. I would say it's neck and neck with 2 for me. But Luigi's Mansion 1 is still, I think, my favorite. And I know that's kind of the generic lame boomer pick, but I really like the arcadey feel of Luigi's Mansion 1. I like that I can play that game every year in a single sitting. If I really, sit down and play it. 2 sittings at most, usually. It's, this game was like an 8 or a 9 stream game, which is very significantly longer. Which, I would like to see more Luigi's Mansion, don't get me wrong. Luigi's Mansion 4, if it's as long as this game, I probably wouldn't complain about it on first playthrough, but for me, Luigi's Mansion is important to be replayed, and replaying 3 just, I don't know, it didn't leave the same impression on me. Did not play this, but hey, guess what? This game is no longer available. Go fuck yourself. The Stretchers? The fuck is that? Nintendo published that? Did not play Sword. Did not play Shield. Did not play Brain Training. Did not play Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE Encore. Did not play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Animal Crossing. This is the worst game I've ever played. What the fuck? Actually garbage tier video game. What the hell? Worse than 1-2 Switch. Fuck this shit. Nah, well, we'll put it in, on release, it was good. Now I'd say it's great. Switch 2 version, you don't really need. Yeah, now I've had some time to be away from it a little bit. You don't really need it. It was fun. You know, I didn't hate playing it. I like the creative mode island. I just wish creative mode island didn't require you to have it in your catalog first. Because with my island, I was relatively new. Like, I had reset the game and done a new island. So I didn't have my, 500 hours of catalog. I only had, like, 20 hours of catalog for this. And, I didn't get a lot to work with in creative mode. But I did create a Taco Bell. So, with full working parking lot. I like that. I don't know what good job is. Fuck is Xenoblade Chronicles? I've never heard of this shit. This is the first game, remastered. For a long time, I would tell people my favorite game was Majora's Mask, but Xenoblade Chronicles 1 Definitive Edition was my second favorite game. Once again, I'll remind you, the first Xenoblade on Wii, I like less than Xenoblade 2. So I'd put Xenoblade 1 on Wii, like, maybe here, bottom of its grade or top of its good. DE fixes all my issues, realistically. I mean, aside from the fact that the combat is still a little boring, like, you can't really fix that because that's just fundamentally how that game works. But, like, side quest tracking, vastly improved. I don't even remember all the changes off the top of my head that were in DE, because it's been so long since I played the original. But I do remember talking a lot about it when I streamed it, so I guess go watch those streams if you want those comparisons. But other than that, this is Xenoblade Chronicles 1 with a new coat of paint. Lots of improvements to how the UI works. Oh, a big one for me was the spike. Like, actually representing on the UI when an enemy is inflicting spike. I would die so often in the original Xenoblade to spike damage and not have a single goddamn clue why. What kind of sucks about Xenoblade discussion on the internet is everyone who talks about it is an expert on how Xenoblade works. And I feel like very few people consider what it's like on first playthrough. Especially if you're kind of like me, where, like, you read all the tutorial stuff, sure, but you don't do, like, a fucking research paper on it, right? You just, like, skim through it, and then you're like, okay, I'll figure it out from here. But, like, Xenoblade 1 especially has numbers flying all over the screen. So how the fuck am I supposed to know suddenly when purple numbers appear, that means the enemy is attacking me essentially as counter damage? Not really, but don't be technical with me, but that's essentially what's happening. And the DE, like, makes it very visually apparent on the UI. Hey, this enemy is now doing spike damage to you. Because, like, the health bar will get all these, like, purple spikes all over it. And there are contexts where an enemy will spike only under specific instances. And for those who don't know what spike damage is, essentially, in Xenoblade, all of the games, you do auto attacks. Every time you, every few seconds, your character automatically swings the weapon. It's like an MMO. There are enemies in Xenoblade 1 and 2, less so in 2, but it does happen occasionally. There are enemies who have what's called a spike, where every time you hit them, they will hit back a certain amount of damage. Just every time you hit them. It doesn't matter if it's an auto attack or an art, which arts are your bigger moves. They will deal damage back to you. And if you're not realizing that that's happening, you're just gonna die from attacking things. And some enemies only deal their topple damage, or their spike damage, while toppled or under a certain other status effect. Actually, are there daze topples? Daze spikes? Actually, no, I think daze disables it. But still. I think there's one other context where, like, some enemies are a constant spike, other enemies are topple spike. And I think there's a third Spike instance, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I like Xenoblade 1 quite a bit. I think this game is less controversial than Xenoblade 2 is, because it doesn't objectify anyone. I mean, there are, like, swimsuits that you can equip, but I mean, you control the buttons you press at that point. Like, if you don't want to see that, then don't take their shirts off, I guess. But, like, it's nothing like Xenoblade 2 just actually has shots where it zooms in on Pyro's tits. Nothing like that happens in Xenoblade 1. Not even close. So, I like the tone of the story more in Xenoblade 1. I think it's an easier sell on the story, but the gameplay is way, way improved in Xenoblade 2, in my opinion. But I think the changes to Xenoblade and the fact that it's just less controversial means that I can put this one safely in Genuine Masterpiece, whereas Xenoblade 2, even though I probably like it more than Xenoblade 1, I have to acknowledge that there are more notable issues. Like, there are some big issues with Xenoblade 2. Tutorials, garbage in Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 1, you can review any tutorial you want whenever you want. You know, if you skim through a tutorial and didn't realize something, you can go back and read all the tutorials. Xenoblade 2, I mean, there is such a thing as Google. I will say, if you really need to know something, it's not the end of the world, but, you know, you shouldn't have to do, like I said, a research paper in order to figure out how to play a game. And Xenoblade 1, for that logic, is a little simpler. So, there. 51 Worldwide Classics, genuine masterpiece. I'm not even joking with you. This is a great, great little package. Highly recommend it. If, you just want to play some Connect 4 and get your ass handed to you by me, because I am the Connect 4 master. 51 Worldwide Classics, however, does not have billiards, so it's getting bumped down to great. And I will not elaborate any further. Play it. Fuck. Jump rope challenge? Yeah, I don't know. Paper Mario, the Origami King. It's good. It's good. It's not Thousand Year Door. I know. In a world not too distant from now, I once called Origami King better than Paper Mario 64. I don't know if I feel that way anymore, because I've played Paper Mario 64 much more recently, and that, I think when I said that, it had been a very long time since I played Paper Mario 64, and I hadn't finished it at that point either, I believe. So, yeah, listen. Best soundtrack of the series is right here, I'll tell you that. Thousand Year Door Remake is a close second, but this is the best soundtrack in my eyes. Combat is weird, is unnecessary, sure. You don't need to do the combat in the game to get through it. I also kind of like that about the game, though, because here I am playing through Partners of Time, and I'm really enjoying the game, don't get me wrong, but there are moments in the game where I'm just like, I'm kind of ready for the next story thing, but there's like 15 enemies in the way before I can get to that. So, if you want to avoid fights, if you're able to avoid fights, that is both a good and a bad thing, I guess, because, like, you're not going to get punished for avoiding the fights, but also you are kind of missing a central part of the game, because for me, doing the slide puzzles was actually kind of fun. Like, I liked the brain teaser that was trying to figure out how to do those. But after a while, you kind of realize that they only have a certain amount of them made, and so you'll just see some repeated patterns, which, I mean, makes the combat pretty easy. You just do the puzzle, and then you pretty much win in one turn, right? I think that's the main pull of Origami King, is if you're able to solve the puzzles in one turn, or like, solve the puzzles in one try, essentially, without needing a second turn of attacks, then this game is really great. But if you don't engage with the puzzle system very much, and you just kind of try to play it like an RPG, you're going to find yourself very frustrated. But yeah, in general, I really like this game's story. Surprisingly, kind of sad at a couple of times. I know, Paper Mario fans, I know that you're mad about the inconsistent bomb logic. I know! I am a little bit too, if I'm being honest. But for what it sets up in this game's story, the fact that the bombs perma-die on explosion, whereas in other Paper Mario games, they just kind of fly back for whatever reason. I like what this game does with Bobby quite a bit. And Olivia is, well, she's not Kirsty. And I like her a lot more than I liked Huey. So, yeah, Olivia's nice. And Ollie, even though his motivations are dumb in the end, you can see a nice little heartwarming story. It's borderline great for me. If only they allowed for more unique character designs. I'm still not over, like okay, they did a step up in this game where it's not all Toads. Now you get, like, Goombas and Koopas and, like Monty Moles, but it's still, like, for the most part, generic. Like, there's very few Toads or other characters who wear, like, hats or different clothes. Thousand Year Door Remake shows you every single well, not every single, but a lot of the NPCs have very vastly uniquely designs from one another. It's all origami. Well, all the enemies are origami, and then all of the main characters, like the non-bad guys, are like the slices of paper or whatever. But I mean, yeah, just Thousand Year Door Remake proves that we can have unique looking character designs. We don't have to genericize them, and it still makes for a great game. I don't think that ruins the game. It doesn't, like, bring it down to an F tier for me. Like, I still know people are offended that this game, like, just didn't fully re-envelop the RPG stuff. At this point, there's been more, and this hurts to hear, but there've been more Paper Mario games that aren't RPGs. Like, that are, like, turn-based XP RPGs, you know, the whole 9 yards, Paper Mario 1 and 2. There's been more of those games than hasn't. So, at this point, I see Paper Mario as more of an experimental series, but I wouldn't say no to it going back to the RPG stuff. I would be very curious what happens next. But let's just hope wherever it goes next, I can stop hearing about Sticker Star, because god damn it, I know there's a little Sticker Star DNA in this game, but it's not the same game. I know so many people who just judge it purely based on they hated Sticker Star, so they're gonna hate this. I feel like there's like a weird, like, lapse, and I'm not trying to be, like, rude here, but I feel like there's a weird thing with the internet where just, like, several people just don't give modern Paper Mario a chance just because of Sticker Star. And I think that Color Splash has good things in it, but it's still, like, that game has a lot of Sticker Star DNA in it, sure. This game has a lot more going for it, and I'm not gonna put it above It's Good, because I think that's right where it belongs. But, yeah, I hope that's articulate enough for you. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Another game that I would say, it's good. You know, it's Mario 64, the no BLJ version. It's Mario Sunshine, first time it's ever been re-released, now in widescreen. Okay. And it's Mario Galaxy 1 on widescreen in 60 FPS and 720p. It's fine. It's weird that this was a limited time release, but, you know, those are three of some of the best games of all time, if you ask me. The only reason I'm marking this as it's good instead of it's great or a masterpiece is just because this collection is A, not available, and B, where was Galaxy 2? Why did Galaxy 2 have to be a separate release 5 years later? I don't know. I haven't played the Switch version of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 yet. I actually do have them. I am remiss to announce. They're on my shelf behind me. I don't know if I'm ever going to stream them, but I have them for collector's sake, and mostly just collector's sake. Because I love the Galaxy games, and they are not my favorite of the Mario games, but they are up there. And, you know, just as an excuse to play through Sunshine again, I really liked having this collection. And now I'll never touch this collection, because if I'm going to play through Sunshine, I'm going to play the Mario Eclipse on Dolphin, which granted Nintendo doesn't know about that, but that's fine. Mario 64, I'd probably play either 64 DS or the BLJ version. And Galaxy, you know, from what I hear, what I have heard about the Switch 2 version of Galaxy 1 and 2 is that it is, like, the same game, sure, but, like, there's, like, better textures in the game, and, like, it runs a little nicer, and it's more just, like, compatible with Switch hardware, so I would probably play through that version if I ever play Galaxy 1 again. But I'm not gonna stream Galaxy 1 anytime soon. I think it was only 2 or 3 years ago when I last streamed it. It's still recent enough. Galaxy 2, within the next couple of years, I may stream that version of the game. We'll see. Should play Mario 64 co-op. I have played that. It's fun. Yeah. Kirby Fighters 2. I've only played a few hours of that. Mario 35. I wish this was still available, because this was actually great. And I don't even like Mario 1 that much. I'll go so far as to say I dislike Mario 1. I would put Mario 1 in the not for me or actually bad, but maybe not actually bad. Not for me, sure. Mario 35? Damn, it's a shame this didn't come back. Even, it's a shame there was no Mario 40 for this year, you know? But, no use talking about things that we can't play anymore, right? Mario Kart Live Home Circuit is a glorified cat toy. I'm not joking. I played this only to drive it around, use the RC car function, and have something for Cleo to chase. That is the only reason I had this. Part-time UFO. My floor isn't good enough, so I can't ever play it. Yeah, it sucks on carpet, doesn't it? Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Had weird graphical issues on the Switch 2 for some reason, but other than that, it got fixed. Best version of Pikmin 3 right there. It's only 2, but hey, it's good. And allegedly, there's rumors of an apparent Switch 2 version, which I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll see if that happens one day. Would be nice, I guess, but just to see this game running in like 4K, I don't know. Age of Calamity. Alright, so if I place Hyrule Warriors 1 right there, Age of Calamity. So on a gameplay level, Age of Calamity is better than Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Especially on Switch 2, where it doesn't lag nearly as hard. On a story level, it's worse. It's way worse. I don't like that this game is AU. I wish they would have committed to making this canon, because I wanted to see everyone die at the end. I have not finished Age of Imprisonment yet. I every now and then I boot it still, and I slowly work my way through it. I don't know if I will finish that game yet or not, but, you know, like I said, slowly over time, I do a mission here and there. This game, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I 100% it on release. 100%ed. I did not buy the DLC until I streamed it for that one-off that I did way back when. But the base game, I 100%ed this game. I liked it that much. Best... you saw me gloating about the Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition soundtrack. This has a better soundtrack than that. Hands down. My main issue with it comes down to is it's just Breath of the Wild. And it's the prequel story of Breath of the Wild that's not even actually the prequel story. So, I'm gonna put it down and it's good. But just note, I do think I like the gameplay of this game quite a bit more. Having the Sheikah Slate, like, there's a thing that happens in this game every now and then where a boss will do a certain thing and you need to use, like, Cryonis or Stasis or something to counter the boss and then have their weak point be displayed. This happens as well in Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition with the items. But it feels so much more satisfying to pull off an Age of Calamity. I don't know. But there's that. NES version of Fire Emblem 1. I've played like an hour of it. Actually, I did a stream of it, actually. So, yeah, it's alright. It's the NES Fire Emblem. I didn't come back for a stream 2 of this game. Because I didn't think I was actually interested. After one stream, I kind of got everything I needed to out of that game. Fitness Boxing 2? Oh, fuck. I don't know what that even is. 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I really gotta start going rapido here. Okay, 3D World. I'm gonna rank this based on Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury was great. Play it. It's open world-ish. Not really, but open zone, I guess you could call it. And Bowser's Fury was great soundtrack. I love God Killer Bowser. Love that name. And 3D World saw a bunch of improvements to it that made the game run faster. And just generally, yeah, I like this version of this game. Play it. Bravely Default 2, have not played. Pokemon Snap, I've only barely played. Yeah, I've played enough to say it's good. I don't really have a comment on it, but it's good, yeah. Famicom Detective Club. There, and there. Miitopia. This is the Switch version. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in Masterpiece. Might be a bold take, but I think it's not my favorite game by any means. Actually, I'll put it in great. I'm gonna put it in great. Because my only main issue with Miitopia comes down to the gameplay is not really all that fun. You just kind of sit there a lot of the time. In fact, it's very, very hands-off. You make your Miis and you just watch them play through the RPG for you. That part I don't love, but I do love the makeup system, and I love how that's reflecting in Tomodachi Life as well. We'll see how that one ends up wrapping. That's obviously not on this list, but, you know, that's really the main thing. It's just the creative freedom that the makeup system allows on this version of the game makes this an actually phenomenal video game where you can put whoever the fuck you want in there and they no longer have to look like janky, weird Miis. If I can have Petey Piranha in the game look like Petey Piranha as a party member, then that's a good-ass game. Right? I don't even know what that says. Game Builder Garage, I'd never played. Mario Golf Super Rush. It's alright. It's golf. I liked it. I got some updates over time. The running to the ball thing was kind of annoying, but it's fine. Zelda Skyward Sword HD. The best way to play Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword isn't my favorite 3D Zelda, but it does tell... I think it... Other than Twilight Princess, it tells the best story out of the entire Zelda lineage. It's the most involved story, I'll say that. It's got a lot of moving parts. Well, not a lot of moving parts, but just like, there's a lot of character stuff in this that's really good. I like Bruce's arc. I like that Link is kind of a character in this one, even though, again, he still doesn't really say anything. Like, you can kind of tell what's going on through his head in a few instances. This is probably the biggest example of why is Link silent? He should say things, because, yeah, he's clearly got things going on in that mind of his. I also really like this game with the button controls. I know a lot of people think you kind of missed the point by doing buttons instead of motion controls, and I'd say I mostly agree. But this is still, I think, my ideal way to play this. One day I want to replay that again and see how I still feel about it. I've never played Pokemon Unite. I think Froze really got into this game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just not a MOBA guy. It's not for me. WarioWare Get It Together. This was the first WarioWare we had seen since WarioWare Gold. This one was okay. Yeah, it's alright. This is the one where you, again, it's kind of a tier list game. You can play as Pyoro. But every character plays a little bit unique from each other. And they go through the same micro games, but they, you know, they play a little different. So you might get the same micro game back to back, which I actually don't think you can, but let's say you did. If you are switching characters in between playing it back to back, then you're going to play that micro game entirely different the second time. Playing Jimmy T versus Wario, they play very, very differently. No two characters play all too similar. And that's something that's... you know what? We'll bump this up to good. I never really loved this game, but I gotta give it some credit. It is good. Metroid Dread. I think this is my top tier game right now. I love Dread so much. It's tough between this and Super Metroid for my favorite, but I think I give the edge to Dread just because I played Dread first. Sorry, Super Metroid fans. I know how much you all love that game, but I think it should be a testament to how good this game is that I can even consider them to be in the same league as each other. Whereas, you know, Samus Returns, the other Mercury Steam Metroid game I heard, I didn't play, but I heard it was good. You know, this tier, it's good. This game, genuine, best Metroid 2D game in my personal flavor of opinion. Speaking of Metroid Samus Returns, I got the squishy Metroid. I got the squishy Metroid amiibo in the mail today. $20. Like $25, I think, was what I paid for it, instead of like $200. I don't know why, but there was a restock in Japan, so I imported that shit. So $20 plus shipping. I think it ultimately came down to like $40, actually, but still. Fucking... I'm so happy to finally have that squishy Metroid amiibo. I always wanted one. Mario Party Superstars. I kind of already talked about this, but, again, it's a semi-quasi remake of Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 boards, and then mini-games from across the whole series. I'm gonna put it in it's great because it made me feel good to realize Mario Party the Top 100 wasn't a wasted potential game. As soon as Top 100 came out and did like, on sales, I think everyone's personal thoughts was, well, that idea's blown out of the water, we're never gonna see that again. And then they did do it again, and it turned out really great with this game. Again, I'm a little sick of it these days just because I played so much of this game during the pandemic. It was like a fucking weekly thing for a long time there. But, this is definitely the best way to play. I think all of the boards that are in this game, I prefer the Superstars versions of these boards. Hands down. Especially the Mario Party 1 stuff. Like Peach's birthday cake. Way better in this one. I like that the Bowser Junction is after the star, for one. Yoshi's Tropical Island isn't really that different, but the other one, Mario's Rainbow Castle, that one actually having items, like actual like movement-based items, makes Mario's Rainbow Castle into an actually good board. Also, yeah, there's the Mario Party 2 boards, which are great in here. I really like Horrorland, and Spaceland's alright. My personal favorite is Western Land, which appears in Jamboree, so there's that as well. Did not play these. God, Pokemon fans were begging me to rank these, but unfortunately I didn't play it. Arceus I did play! This was the first Pokemon game I played since Black and White. And I would go ahead and be so bold as to put it in great. Put it below Miitopia. Once again, it does go for the open world thing that Breath of the Wild kind of tainted the series, the whole, like, games industry with. I would say Arceus is better than Breath of the Wild in the sense of I like exploring around the corner and being like, oh shit, there's a fucking bear over there. I'm gonna catch that bear, you know? Whereas you turn the corner and then in Breath of the Wild and it's just another camp of bokoblins, you know? That's a big thing for Breath of the Wild, is I do really like the exploration, but the combat, it gets very repetitive. There's not enough enemy variety in Breath of the Wild. Same cannot be said for Arceus. Looks like shit, kind of ran like shit initially, but it was an overall great game, and I really like it. Triangle Strategy, did not play. Kirby and the Fragor. I didn't really play the Switch 2 version of this. I played the first level of it and then didn't come back to it. Not because I wasn't interested, just because I had other things to play. I'll put this in genuine masterpiece, because it is impressive how Kirby stuck so rigidly to the 2D for all these years, and their first full 3D game, Forgotten Land, was that good? First try? Hats off to them. Seriously. Top tier video game right there. Nintendo Switch Sports. Not for me. I played this game on stream twice, and then never again. The second time I played it online, and about halfway through the stream, I realized literally 0 people were playing it online, and the entire time I was playing against bots. I was playing in the middle of the day. I wasn't even playing at 4 a.m. Game fell off so hard. Mario Strikers. Yeah, that's another not from me, I think. I don't know what this game is like in its current state. It got a bunch of updates after I stopped playing it. I don't care. I didn't like this one. Borderline, it's actually bad, but it got some updates, so who knows? Maybe it's better. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. It's good. Another game I didn't finish, but I played enough to understand that I think it's good. I think for me, retreading the exact same story as Three Houses, well, I say exact same, it's actually quite a bit different, but like the same, it's essentially the same story, just with a different main character, and then the previous main character, Byleth, is in a different position. I don't know if they're intentionally, like, for the whole game, the bad guy, but at least as far as I played, they were, like, kind of spotlighted as the bad guy. An interesting concept, but, I would have preferred something more original, but overall, it's good, yeah. Live Alive, did not play. Really want to play this one. Any further questions? Xenoblade 3 is my personal favorite game of all time. Do I need to elaborate? Real quick, because I really am running out of time. Xenoblade 3 takes the best... It literally quite literally takes Xenoblade 1's battle system and Xenoblade 2's battle system and makes them into the same battle system. So you have both the waiting element and the auto attack element. Certain arts take advantage of, you know, depending on if the art came from a character from the Xenoblade 1 side or if it came from the Xenoblade 2 side, that's how they handle that. This is this is my favorite game. I've never replayed it, and I really need to replay it to see if I still feel that way. But considering I ranked Xenoblade 1 as my favorite Xenoblade game, which was, like I said, my second favorite game. Depending on the day of the week, I would call it my favorite game over Majora's Mask. And I do think that Xenoblade 3 is a better game than Xenoblade 1. Just, like, on a gameplay level. And, like, there's just more to do. The characters are more interesting. The music is this genuinely unmatched soundtrack. I've never heard a soundtrack as good as Xenoblade 3. I'm just putting that out there. You know, with all that in mind, I gotta rank it above the original game, which makes it my favorite game of all time. But I don't know, through only playing it one time, if it really is my favorite game of all time. But as I just explained, that's kind of where I have to put it. I will say I'm less attached to Noah than I am Shulk and Rex. But then you can also consider Xenoblade 3's Future Redeemed DLC, which was just like 10 or 10 across the board. No notes. Just like, that is a perfectly bite-sized Xenoblade adventure, Future Redeemed. I would recommend people play it, but it's really only meant for people to play if you've played through Xenoblade 1 and 2. It's kind of a shame because, yeah, it talks a lot about mumbo jumbo from the lore of those games. So it's not really something I can recommend if you're not already a Xenoblade fan. But if you are a Xenoblade fan and you've played 1, 2, and 3, and you haven't gone back to the DLC, go back to it. Please, do it. It is definitely worth your time. And it seems to be setting up something very interesting for what's going to come for Xenoblade next. And XDE also kind of talks more about that too. But Dream Buffet. Surprisingly great video game for $5. Or was it 15? It's really cheap, whatever it was. Always bet on flying. That's all I gotta say. A lot of good remixes across the board in that too. As mentioned before, Splatoon 2 is the game I have more hours in, but Splatoon 3 is probably the better game. So I'm gonna put that right there. I would say the story mode of Splatoon 3, really great. I loved the single player, especially in 3. I just didn't really stick with the game after I finished the story. I don't know. And then there was the Side Order DLC, which I never even played. Or even bought, I don't think. So, maybe one day I'll come back to that. I think I would be interested to check out Side Order and just, like, experience some of the multiplayer for this. It's just, again, finding the time for it when I have so many other things to play. Mario Rabbids did not play. Bayonetta 3 did not play. Scarlet and Violet did not play. Engage, I did not play. I heard that this game was actually kind of bad, so I especially did not play. Metroid Prime Remastered. Best way to play Prime 1. You know, very beautiful. Genuinely, when I say I could have been confused that Prime 1 Remastered was a PS4 game, I meant that when I said that way back when. And it still holds up. Obviously, it's not as sharp as something like Prime 4 is on Switch 2. There's no Switch 2 patch for this. But I mean, even in 1080p, this game looks pretty damn great. No frame rate issues, just solid all the way through. Returns to Dreamlands Deluxe. Another great one. Put that right about there. Played this with some friends, did not stream it. I have it physically. One day I'll stream it. Not really a whole lot to say other than it's the the Wii game, but again, with a new art style for King Dedede. I like this art style a lot. And I like the mini games a lot, actually. The mini games were very fun in that. Fitness Boxing, Fist of the North Star. I thought that was a JoJo character for a second. I thought that was Joseph Joestar. Or John. No, John, yeah. Season 1. Cereza did not play. Advance Wars 1+2 did not play. Tears of the Kingdom! I have to put it in. It's great. I'm sorry. It is better than Breath of the Wild, in my opinion, but... I've already talked a lot about Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Just find a different video if you want to hear my thoughts on that, if you really want me to, because I'm running out of time, and I don't have time to give you the full review, but that's where I'm gonna put it. Pikmin 1 Switch version, which is kind of like the Galaxy port in that it's mostly just running on Switch hardware with some texture changes, very minorly. I'll rank it based on how I feel about Pikmin 1, which is to say, it's great. I like it. Bottom of it's great. This one's a very arcadey game, kind of like Luigi's Mansion. This one is a game that you could replay a lot and get a different experience every time you replay it. I did pick this up, and I have played it all the way through Pikmin 1 on Switch 1. I didn't stream that, except for like a one-off, just showing the Switch 1 version. Because reminder, when I streamed the Pikmin games, I streamed them on Wii Virtual Console, or Wii U Virtual Console, rather. I much prefer playing this game with a controller than I do with the Wii Remote. I do not like the Wii Remote controls at all. Pikmin fans for years fucking gassed the shit out of the Wii Remote controls. I found them to be actually bad because they were very inaccurate. Maybe that's just my environment. Maybe I'm sitting too close to the sensor bar. But that's how I feel about it, and I'm sorry. Pikmin 2, I like it a little bit more. I also hate it a little bit more than Pikmin 1 in many ways, but I think it's overall an improvement. It introduces Louie. It's got the president in it. The treasures are more interesting to collect in that game. Pikmin 2 introduced Louie, therefore actually bad. Alright, I'm willing to... Yeah, I'm willing to agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll put it like that. Everybody won to Switch. I did not play this, but I would put it in actually bad without even playing it. Pikmin 4 is my favorite Pikmin game. It's nice that the entire Pikmin series is on here, by the way. But yeah, Pikmin 4, I love this game. Can't wait until I get in the right mood to replay this one, because it's had a few updates recently that I'm very, very curious about. I love this game to death. It does run on a little long. I'm gonna bump it below Dread for that reason, actually. The tutorials in the beginning of the game also kind of awful with how hand-holdy they are, but after you get past that, it is the best Pikmin game. If you've never played a Pikmin game, start with 4 so that way the tutorials are less annoying. Because they are helpful tutorials, it's just... if you kind of already know what it's gonna tell you, that's when it's more annoying. F-Zero 99. Yeah, this is a top 5 from me. Love F-Zero 99. Didn't think I would. When I saw this in the Nintendo Direct initially, I don't remember which Direct it was, but you can look back on it. I was mad at this reveal. I was like, fuck! It's just it's the SNES game! But it's not. It's actually so much more. It has the health meter system that I prefer from later F-Zeros, and the combat system as well. And 99 Racers sounds extremely overwhelming. It sort of is, but it's also perfect for what F-Zero needs to be. My only reservation is I would like to see this concept done again, but with something like GX, where it's like a 3D space. But also having it in the 2D plane makes it way more digestible. So I think for some people they might actually prefer this over something like a GX 99, just because with I'm thinking of like Fire Field in GX, where like you're going around the tube. It is so like nauseating to like figure out where you are, especially if you get into one of those loops where you're just like constantly orbiting the pillar that you're on. Like, oh my god, it's kind of, it's, but I love GX. GX is my favorite F-Zero. And this is a close second, actually, believe it or not. Detective Pikachu did not play Mario Wonder. Working through the Switch 2 version of that, but ranking it based on Mario Wonder alone. Man, the recency bias is strong on here because I'm about to put it in Masterpiece just because of how much I like that Switch 2 version. But, you know what? I will, because I also, in the moment when I played it, I said I think this is my favorite 2D Mario. I no longer feel that way. I think Mario World is back to being the king for me, but I'll say Mario Wonder is a great video game, start to finish. Play the Switch 2 version. If you have never played it before, I would recommend it, yes. If you have played Mario Wonder, would I recommend the Switch 2 version? I don't know. I'm really enjoying playing the multiplayer with Frozen Spaghetti, and I can't wait until we stream some more of it. But on its own, you know, Mario Wonder is a very creative and fun, joyful video game. I don't know how it plays on replay. I'm very curious how I would feel about some of the Wonder effects on like a second playthrough, because what's really special about this game is seeing the Wonder effects for your very first time. That is an elevating experience for this game. WarioWare Move It. I don't like this game. I'm sorry. I like WarioWare Smooth Moves on Wii. I do not like WarioWare Move It. First Kevin Afghani Wario, which is nice. Also, this is first Kevin Afghani in general, Mario Wonder. First Kevin Afghani WarioWare was... I mean, Kevin did fine. He's no Charles Martinet for Wario, which is a shame, but, you know, it is what it is. But I don't like the motion controls. It didn't work for me in a lot of the games. I get really frustrated when I'm doing the thing it wants me to do, and it's just not registering it. Which is why I don't like the Wii Motion Play version of Pikmin 2. Even though it's technically more fluid than using an analog stick, yes. The analog stick is more accurate, so I vastly prefer it, rather. Mario RPG Remake. I was never really interested in Mario RPG all that much when before I played it. And after playing it, I can safely say, yeah, I see why people like this game. It's great. It's not my favorite Mario RPG. In fact, it's one of my lesser favorite ones. But that's not to say it's bad. It's just kind of like, it's kind of there. You know, it feels very of its time. I didn't grow up with it, so there's no nostalgia there for me. It runs a little short, surprisingly, is a detriment to it. I would actually prefer it if this game was a little longer. Geno, you know, I think part of it was like everyone, maybe not everyone, but I heard a lot of hype over the years about Geno. Geno never really amounted to much in that game. Mallow was the more interesting character to me. But even then, soundtrack 10 out of 10, no notes. I do like that this remake was very, very faithful in both the models and just like keeping, like, it's easier, sure, but for the most part, they didn't really like babyfy Mario RPG, and I appreciate that. Another code did not play this remake, but I kind of wanted to. Played a demo for Peach Showtime, didn't really care for it, but not enough to rate the whole game. Endless Ocean did not play. Thousand Year Door Remake. I mean, it's Thousand Year Door. It put it in bottom of genuine masterpiece. Like I said, I really do like Origami King. I gotta give Origami King a lot of... You know, I'm gonna bump that to bottom of it's great. Because, yeah, I mean, I love Thousand Year Door. Don't get me wrong. This is definitely the better game. But, you know, Origami King is still good, too. But, this remake pretty much did everything perfectly. I don't think there's anything I would personally change about this remake. Oh, VTuber's glitching out again. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I would change a single thing about this remake. It adds a few new things. It adds the Cut Wacka fight back into the game. It adds Prince Mush fight, which was Prince Mush. He was there. You had to counter him. It was kind of annoying, but also it's an optional super boss. So hey, I'll take it. I love this game's remastered soundtrack. I still feel like I like Origami King more, but if you're the type of person who didn't like some of the changes with like Rogue Port or I don't know, just like I didn't really care for some of the songs. Like I didn't like the Glitz Pit Outside new theme. Even though it was more accurate to what I think they were originally going for with, like, the Japanese sumo arena. Which, in the original, it doesn't feel like that at all. It's like carnival music. Whereas in Origami King, they actually give it that Japanese flair because that's how Glitzville was designed, was to have, like, Japanese, like, buildings and stuff. That is more the case in this version of the game. But in general, I like all the new sprites. I like the new character themes. Like, there's, like, new songs added for, like, each of the party members. And, overall, they added a hot dog that you could put hot sauce on. So it's actually the best game of all time. You understand. Did not play Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Looked like it ran on Citra. But I like Luigi's Mansion 2, so I don't have an opinion on that remake. NES Champions. You know what? If I ranked New Super Mario Brothers, even though I didn't play that, I'm gonna rank this even though I didn't play this. And as a remake, it's not really that fantastic, but I'm gonna put it here because that's where no, I'll put it right next to Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm gonna put Luigi's Mansion 3 above it, only because 2 was a more, like, lazy remake. But other than that, yeah, 2 is a good game. You should play it, if you haven't. Emio the Smiling Man. Played a demo, not the full thing. Didn't really need to play it, I don't think. Echoes of Wisdom. This is a really good game. Again, it kind of falls... It falls a little flat because of the Breath of the Wild thing. Zelda has, ever since Breath of the Wild, been stuck in this loop where they're like, solve the puzzle your way. And I like what they're going for. Skyward Sword wasn't like that in Skyward Sword HD, but like, and nor was the Link's Awakening remake, but like, original games since then. Their opinion has been, solve the puzzle your way. And that gets in the way a lot of the time, I think, for this game, because it means that the puzzles are designed a lot less particularly, and I feel less smart for figuring it out. Because it's more just like another, like, oh, okay, I have to do this here, then I do this here, then I do this here. Running through this game feels a little more like a checklist of things that I need to do, rather than solving puzzles. Because... you know, I already have seen this, and I can solve this in this way. You know? Whereas, if I get to a dungeon in a game I've never played before, of, like, a classic 3D Zelda, I'd have to sit there and be like, well, how do I solve this puzzle? And I don't really remember that happening much in Echoes of Wisdom. Really good story, though. I'll give it some credit. I went into this game really shitting all over this game's story. Like, I was not expecting anything good. And then they surprised me. I won't spoil everything, but what I will say is Ganondorf / Ganon, not the main baddie. They took that. I don't know what it took for them to do that, but they were not the main bad guy, and I was very pleasantly surprised by that. Because the game set itself up to make you think that was going to be the case, but, yeah. Alright, last 4, let's do this rapido. Jamboree, real quick. Masterpiece, best Mario Party in my opinion. it does take really, really... Well, at Mario Party 6, I might have a more nostalgic pick over this, but still, Jamboree is great. My only detriment to it is because of, like, the animations being very flashy in this game, it does take a lot longer to do a turn of Jamboree. Something that should be given to the credit of Superstars is turns in that game go so fucking fast. There's no, like, flair to anything. It just goes, and then the movement speed is really fast, too. Especially if you enable it that way. Brothership? Not for me. Uh-oh. We've talked about Mario and Luigi Brothership so much on this stream. I think you already know my opinion on it. It is an okay video game. I'll put it in it's alright. Fine. It is an okay video game. It is definitely the weakest Mario and Luigi game that I've played. My VTuber is glitching the fuck out even just thinking about Mario and Luigi Brothership right now. Can you stop that? Why are you doing that? Hello? Okay, it's dead. It died. That's fine. Brainwave. He couldn't think no more. Music was okay in this game. It runs on way too long. I would have genuinely shaved this game in half. This game is a, like, 40-hour game. It should be 20. It was like 45... No, it was like 50 hours for me, actually. Which is just insanely long. This game should not have been that long. I didn't hate the guiding the ship thing around. It kind of reminds me of Spirit Tracks, which some people will hate, but I didn't hate that. My main issues just came down to the NPCs were like whatever, and the story just takes forever to get going, and there's so little bros moves in the game. There's just watch one of my more recent Mario and Luigi streams and you'll know my full opinions on Brothership if you really need it. But, bottom of it's alright. It's the best I can do. Returns HD, I just finished like a month ago, like I said. This is a great game. Especially when we're talking about the Switch 2 version, because this is, just great. Yeah, Returns was always, like, good. But the remake just really made me realize, like, holy shit, this game, especially some of those later worlds, is so creative on how they, like, handle some of the... Like, I like the minecart levels where there's, like, the rolling object that you're inside of, and then you have to, like, jump while you're in it. Like, that one's cool. But yeah, like, the last, like, 3 worlds of the game is Donkey Kong at its best, and I really liked the additional 3DS stuff. I finally got to play the Golden Temple world with this, which again was in the 3DS version, but having this available on a console where I don't have to waggle to do rolling is nice, and also having this on a console where I can play the 3DS button, the 3DS levels, I mean, the bonus levels. Great. This is, it's actually probably top of its great for me. And Xenoblade Chronicles XDE. Don't get the Switch 2 version. For some reason, I did not notice the AI upscaling stuff when I was playing the game. I just couldn't see it. Maybe it's because I play on a relatively small monitor, but I've seen the footage. It's rough. Do not get the Switch 2 version. 60 FPS seems nice on paper, but you don't need it. You don't need it. Just play the game as is, and then you'll find yourself having a really good time with it. I'm gonna put it in its great. It's above Xenoblade 2 for me. I'll put it like, yeah, like right there. That's where I would put it. And there's my alarm telling me to end the stream, so I will do so. I had to go rapido on some of those last ones. I would have liked to talk more, but this is what I get for streaming tier lists on a work day. But there you go. That's my official Gabriel Surge ranking of everything I've played on Switch 1. Obviously, there's a lot of games here that I still haven't played. Games that I would be interested real quick. I'll go through those real quick and just tell you things that I would be interested to maybe check out one day. Mario and Donkey Kong. I know there's the GBA version, but maybe I would play the remake one day. Let's see. Live Alive is another one that I really want to try one day. DQ Builders I might try one day, but I mean, I got Pokopia, which I hear is pretty similar, so... what else? DQ 11 is one that's been on my list for some time. I would say Scarlet and Violet, but I think I'm probably just gonna wait for Winds and Waves at this point for another mainline Pokemon game. And the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I have this. I also have the sequel. At some point, I would like to try these games. I think that's it. The rest of these... Oh, Bayonetta 3 maybe as well one day. But the rest of these... Oh, and Astral Chain, like I said. But the rest of these... And Captain Toad. Alright, hang on. I keep interrupting myself. Is there anything else before I fucking finish this thought? No, I think that's it. Maybe, but probably not on Fire Emblem Engage. Okay, that's everything then. So, yeah, the rest of them I have no real interest in playing. Sorry, you're probably never gonna see me play Let's Go. Or, Go Vacation. Yeah, probably not. But, that's gonna be it. So, thanks all for watching. I gotta prepare this fucking VOD. I gotta get the fuck out of here. This is fun, though. I do like doing these tier lists. I want to, make a habit of doing these every other month or so. I'm gonna save this tier list as real opinions on Switch games. Saved. Awesome. And now we save the image. Export image. It won't let me... It won't let me save the image. Okay, well then I'll just zoom it out and then I'll save it. Take a screenshot, save that shit. Cool. Alright, well, you guys have a good rest of your night. Tomorrow I will be here with, the game Mario and Luigi game. If you want to hear me talk about Brothership, come by tomorrow's stream. You'll get the full review again. For 8th time. And then, other than that, you know, Yakuza, more games throughout the month. And of course, you gotta keep in mind, out of all the billiard balls, the 8 and the 15 ball are the S tiers. The only S tiers. So, have a good day. Goodbye.